Today we're diving into the bat-biting Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne. Welcome back to Guess That Zodiac Sign. Is he a water sign swimming in emotional madness, a fire sign burning with chaotic energy, or maybe, just maybe, a grounded earth sign caught in a storm of eyeliner and guitar solos? Let's find out. Let's start with the music. Ozzy didn't just sing rock, he defined a genre. The band practically invented heavy metal. And their lyrics? They weren't about partying or girls, but much deeper. Take the song Black Sabbath itself, the track that started it all. What is this that stands before me? Figure in black which points at me. That's pure horror. Ozzy is channeling fear, mysticism, and the unseen spiritual world. This feels like someone who's obsessed with what lies beneath. Now look at War Pigs, another Sabbath classic. Generals gathered in their masses just like witches at black masses, anti-war, anti-authority, and filled with dark religious imagery. This is social critique wrapped in sorcery. Even when Ozzy went solo, the themes stayed consistent. In Mr. Crowley, he sings, "You fooled all the people with magic, yeah, you waited on Satan's call." That's Aleister Crowley, the infamous occultist. Ozzy is literally invoking real-life occult figures in his music. This man isn't just playing dress-up. He's drawn to forbidden knowledge, which begs the question, what kind of zodiac sign spends decades writing music about death, the devil, spiritual warfare, insanity, and the afterlife? Not a surface-level air sign, not a chill earth sign. Even in Crazy Train, one of his most commercial hits, he's still talking about insanity, war, and trauma. Mental wounds not healing life's a bitter shame. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. He's not pretending to be insane. He's owning it, making it a banner. So musically, Ozzy is a storm of darkness, emotion, spirituality, and rebellion. He doesn't flirt with the underworld. He lives there, and he invites you in, which makes us ask again, what kind of star sign would voluntarily spend 50 years asking questions about life, death, and the devil? For now, we're sticking with our hunch. This feels like Scorpio. Now let's crack open the mind of the Prince of Darkness, because Ozzy Osbourne's personality is way more complex than you might expect from a guy who once peed on the Alamo. Sure, the headlines scream chaos, drugs, and metal legend, but watch an interview, you'll see something very different. Ozzy's not loud, he's not cocky, he's honestly kind of shy. He rambles, he mumbles, he drifts mid-sentence like he's floating through a fog of thoughts and feelings. He's emotional, almost childlike, not in an immature way, but in that raw, unfiltered, I feel everything and I don't know what to do with it kind of way. When he talks about his past, you can hear the regret, not just about the drugs, but about the hurt, about the damage done. In a famous interview, Ozzy said, "I don't know why I did half the things I did. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I was just trying to cope." That doesn't sound like a thrill-seeking fire sign. That sounds like someone trying to survive emotional overload. So we ask, what signs feel everything and try to numb it through chaos? Water signs. And then there's the split, because Ozzy on stage, he's a demon, a beast, a fire-breathing entity commanding thousands. But backstage, he's often fragile, quiet, nervous. He once admitted that he has crippling stage fright, even after decades of touring. How many Leo or Aries rock stars admit that? He also avoids conflict. When Sharon's angry, he backs down. When the world calls him evil, he shrugs and goes, "I'm not, I'm just misunderstood." He doesn't fight, he feels. So let's piece this together. He's sensitive, regretful, emotionally reactive, stage shy yet magnetizing, lives in a fog of feelings, loyal but not confrontational. So again, Scorpio's looking real strong right now. Let's shift gears. We've seen the bat-biting stage legend, but what happens when you take Ozzy off the stage and stick him in a Beverly Hills mansion with cameras rolling? Welcome to the Osbournes, the reality show that gave us an uncensored look into the chaotic but surprisingly relatable life of a metal icon. And what did we learn? Ozzy's not the king of the castle. He's more like the confused wizard wandering through it. Remember the scene where he's arguing with the remote control? Or the one where he's trying to operate a vacuum and ends up nearly falling over? He's not domineering. He's not barking orders. He's just there, trying his best in a whirlwind of teenage tantrums, barking dogs, and Sharon yelling from across the house. But here's the thing, Ozzy's not checked out. He cares. You can see it in the way he worries about Kelly, or when he tries to connect with Jack, even if he doesn't quite know how. He's not emotionally expressive in the traditional way, but the love is visceral. When Sharon had cancer, Ozzy was devastated. He fell into deep depression, nearly relapsing. because the thought of losing her broke him. This isn't casual devotion. This is ride or die, till death do us part, I don't know who I am without you kind of love. Let's also talk about how much he defers to Sharon. She's the manager, the protector, the loud one, and Ozzy, he's often in the background, doing his own thing, letting her lead. That's not a traditional masculine ego. That's a man who doesn't mind yielding to someone he trusts, and that takes emotional security. So despite the chaos, the yelling, the dysfunction, Ozzy Osbourne is, in his own weird way, a total family man. He doesn't want control. He wants closeness. He wants his pack. Even if the dogs are barking and the house is on fire, he's not going anywhere. And if you're keeping score, that's another big W for our Scorpio hypothesis, because this isn't superficial affection. It's deep, bonded, almost soulmate-level loyalty. All right, let's talk about the vibe. Because with Ozzy Osbourne, the vibe isn't just an accessory. When Ozzy walks into a room or floats onto a stage, you don't just see a guy. You feel an atmosphere, a shift, a pressure in the air, a reminder that something ancient, broken, and supernatural is lurking just beneath the leather jacket and eyeliner. Let's start with the obvious, the aesthetic. We're talking all black, all the time, Gothic crosses and inverted pentagrams, skulls, bats, blood imagery, stage sets filled with fog, flames, and shadow. That's not just rock star fashion, that's death priest realness. Ozzy doesn't flirt with darkness. He embodies it. But here's the twist. There's always a sense of play in his madness. He's not evil, he's theatrical. He's poking at fear, not succumbing to it. He's the guy who'll walk on stage looking like the Grim Reaper, and then wave to the crowd like your weird uncle at a barbecue. This duality, dark but playful, creepy but charismatic, is cosmic gold. Ozzy's vibe isn't just spooky, it's deeply symbolic. He's been talking about the devil, demons, God, angels, and the end of the world for 50 years. He's always asking cosmic questions. What happens when we die? Are we being judged? Am I cursed? Is God even watching? These aren't casual themes. These are Pluto and Neptune questions, philosophical questions. But don't forget, Ozzy laughs at it all. His presence is never joyless. It's full of irony. That's Jupiter influence. So what's the final read? Ozzy's vibe is mysterious, supernatural, symbolic, introspective, borderline cartoonish, but only to hide something deeper, more priest than party animal. The vibe is so thick with Scorpio energy, and that's the sign we're guessing. And Ozzy Osbourne's actual zodiac sign is Sagittarius, born December 3rd. Wait, what? Let's break it down. Sagittarius is known for being wild, philosophical, and adventurous, and Ozzy does fit that in a twisted way. He pushes boundaries. He's spiritually curious, obsessed with God, good versus evil. He never stops moving, never stops evolving. That's Jupiter's expansion at work. And don't forget, Sagittariuses can be wildly unpredictable. They'll jump on a tour bus or bite a bat without hesitation. So yeah, we were close with the chaos and depth, but Ozzy's a fire sign after all, a Sagittarius in a black leather cloak. Did you guess it right? Or were you riding the crazy train with us down Scorpio Lane? Comment on what celebrity you'd like to see next, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and let the stars guide you, even if they're wearing eyeliner. This was Guess That Zodiac Sign.